Well, that's interesting. It decided to goof. It
Oh,
goofed. It went away. I don't
okay.
know. I'm going to ignore it.
That's not me, right?
No, that's not you. That's YouTube or my signal or I don't know what it is. It's recycling. I guess it got overloaded. I don't know what happened. But we're gonna do this. We're gonna send it away.
I know sometimes if you go back 10 seconds, it'll again.
I need to get rid of it. I'm tired of this now. Let's shut that
Hey,
down.
I'm just happy that audio works. So
Yeah, audio is perfect. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring up. We don't need to do this here. Let's just get us up.
okay.
We can do this much at least.
Hey, low tech
Really?
for the newbies.
Well, yeah, right, exactly. This is newbies talking to newbies tonight.
Here we go. As long as
This
we're
is-
still in a place of learning.
Yeah, I am. I don't know. It's computer's not working right. I don't know what's wrong. Top chat, live chat, live chat. Let's see who's in the chat. Cody Fuller. Hey,
Yeah.
Cody.
Hey, Cody. Oh, James Green, which you've already said hi to.
James, right?
Um,
We got 13 looking in right now.
lurkers.
Yeah, a lot of lurkers, bunch of lurkers.
Hey,
Two
don't
or
do
three.
lurkers. They're legit.
Jessica's life is here. Hey, Jessica. There she is. Love your aquarium. It is wonderful, isn't it? We're going to have her talk about that.
I need to. It needs some grooming. It needs some gardening. But
Atkins. Hey, Atkins. Atkins Nature Aquariums. Hello, hello. Atkins. I had Atkins up. I think he was my first NOAA project interview. He's a young man with, I don't know, 8 or 10 tanks. And everyone.
those are rookie numbers.
Well, yeah, but every single one of them has a completely different environment, different water conditions, different. It's amazing. He's really
I want to do something like that.
very talented guy. It's real impressive. George Trotter and Christy. Hi guys, how are you? Nice to see you. So tonight we've got one more person. We're waiting for him to get home. Josh Corporal Jager is on his way home. As soon as he gets here, he'll be up. We're gonna focus on a couple of things tonight. One of which is Discord. Discord is a server we started about a year and a half ago. It's pretty well developed at this point. We've got about 20 channels on it, covering all sorts of topics, including things like emergencies. So if somebody has a crisis, they can pop on, put their post in that emergency channel, and somebody will be in there to help them. We also have a link system so you can select a topic and paste that topic. And there are a number of people who have decided that they can be helpful in dealing with that particular topic. So they'll be notified and they'll come in and help you out. Hello, Sunset Jen. George said, I just joined Discord, still trying to figure out how to navigate through it. It's pretty simple, really. There's a list of channels on the left hand as you're looking at it, on the left hand side, and each of those items are they're in categories, so you can see the category, and then each channel is a different conversation. So you click on that and you can scroll back and read the conversation, make a comment, post a picture, whatever.
It was a little confusing for me, but I wasn't, well, the last time I was in Discord was like over a year ago. So it was almost like I had to relearn the language, but so it took me a few minutes to remember what it was about, or how to navigate it rather. But the easiest one is where I found the pictures and then the general questions. And as long as I started with that, I kind of got the hang of it.
Right.
I will say though, your schedule of live streams are, I don't think they're accurate.
What do you mean?
It says that
you mean on Discord? Oh, that could be.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look at it. Yeah, that's changed, and I probably didn't go in and make the change on it.
Yeah.
The other thing we need to do is we need to get these live streams live on Discord for folks who are there. Now that's easy enough to do, just a matter of doing it. Let's see. Model building Frankie says, hi all, success. Moved all my tanks and setups 1,400 miles to Southwest Florida. So far, been 3 weeks. Didn't lose any fish. Water parameters stable and good. Thanks for your advice on transporting process. Well, good job, model building. And where are you in Southwest Florida? That's where I am for about another month. And then I'm out of here going 1,200 miles the other way, going up the coast to the Chesapeake Bay. I'm gonna move there for a while. I need to be back with family. Craig Duniger hit 500. Good job, Craig.
Yeah, I've been watching Craig live streams. I'm a little confused about the format because he has hi Craig, you have a live stream and I can hear stuff in the background. Sometimes I can hear you, but it's just a video that's pointed right at any particular fish tank. So I'd love to know what the meaning is behind that. Yeah, just, let me know.
Right.
But, he's got some really pretty stuff.
Oh, yeah. T-Bone. Hey, T-Bone. Nice to see you. Samuel Schultz. Like the chats and the club meetings. Let me know if you guys would like to talk about koi one day. That sounds really good, Samuel. I think that would be very appropriate. And I'll get you on the list and we can do that. That would be fun.
I'd love. I think koi and goldfish are just so beautiful.
Yeah, well, you're talking about doing a pond. You said you were going to do a workshop.
Yeah, but it's definitely not big for goldfish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we did get funding approved at the middle school, so I will be next month building a turtle and goldfish pond for the inner city middle school. So we got the funding for that, and I'm actually taking a class tomorrow that is available here in, it's like $15, and it's a complete tutorial on how to in making a pond, creating an outdoor pond.
It's a really good workshop. If it's done well, it covers a lot of detail and a lot of tips and tricks.
Yeah.
That make it very practical and easy to do. It's
very
labor intensive.
Yeah, I've done a lot of research about it, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow because I know there's things that you can only learn by being, by actually doing an experience or working with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's sort of a matter of how you hold the shovel. It's like the details of how you actually get things done. Building a pond is very labor intensive.
Mm-hmm. It becomes annual labor of middle schoolers.
Right. So it becomes really important to understand how to do it right, so you're not wasting a lot of effort. But that'll be great. You'll
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Looking forward to it.
Let's see. So the other thing I want to focus on that I'm I'm gonna be making I hope a significant change in the direction of the channel, and that is I want to find ways to reach the majority of people that are coming on YouTube who are brand new. Get a lock on them, cast a line out so they bite on that hook and reel them in so we can show them how to do their system in a way that is foolproof and that is going to allow them to create a natural aquarium. So EJ and I are putting together a video this weekend, I hope, that's going to be the kickoff for that campaign. But we're going to need all of your help to do that, because it's the as I've been on YouTube now for about 2 years, a little better than maybe 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've noticed is that it takes a brand new person 6 months to a year to find me, to find Alex, to find Lucas, to find the people and the system that makes it possible for them to very simply be successful.
Yeah. I found Luke actually before I found you and Alex, and that's an interesting story because I was following, I get into this and I search on YouTube, and there's a couple of YouTubers that actually have some pretty decent beginner stuff. At least if you're going to follow that trend, not so much on natural aquariums. I was really wanting to know more about plants, but at least they had some basic stuff like the nitrogen cycle. And they did a collaboration, KG Tropicals did a collaboration where they asked a question and they, general YouTubers. And so each, like, what is your favorite tank size, for example? And they asked, people that came on board was, Serpa Design was one of them. But then Lucas came on one of those questions. And I was like, he called himself the fish hoarder. And I'm like, oh, I have to, what is this guy? This guy looks like an absolute mess and fun.
Right.
I don't know if he would appreciate me saying that. But so then I Googled him and I found him. I subscribed. I saw a couple of his YouTube videos. And then what started popping up on my feed was Alex and then consequentially you.
Right.
That's the algorithm. That's how the algorithm works.
I guess that's right. Right.
So
we just need to get more people focused in this direction. Mm-hmm. And if we can find ways to reach new people. So anyway, we're working on that. We need ideas. I think what I'll do is create a channel over on Discord for people to be able to talk about and brainstorm about this issue, because we really need to focus on that. As a SHOAL, as a team, we need to focus on that and find ways to get people who are trying to figure out what to do. Get them in on this kind of procedure so that they can become very successful very quickly.
The Upstart Costs is, at least if you follow the mainstream stuff, the Upstart Costs can be very overwhelming.
Oh yeah.
And very complicated. But it, I would have saved a lot of money if I had done this first.
Right. Exactly. Michael Brennan. Hello, Michael. Kenneth D. Hi, Kenneth. Craig Doniger.
Hey.
Nice to see you, Craig. Samuel Schultz is talking about spawning koi. He spawned Hiro Atsuri and Kohaku from the Japanese lines. Nice fish. Nice fish.
What are their? Yeah, I know very little about a koi. I just know they're pretty. Do you have any of the long finned koi? Like those are really.
That anybody who is a purist
Uh huh.
about Japanese koi
Uh
is
huh.
is going to hold their nose
Oh,
when
did
you
I?
talk about long fin koi.
Oh, did I make a taboo? My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, it's true. It's a kind of an American invention,
Oh.
a bastardization, as some purists would say. I don't know what Samuel's attitude about it. We'll have to get him to comment on longfin koi.
Oh yes, please. I'd love to hear you comment on koi. Skull
Indeed.
Aquatics is here too. Hi, Skull and Michael.
Eduardo Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
Does this work with saltwater aquarium? Absolutely, it does. In point of fact, that's where the foundation of my work really started. I had some friends, coral reef people, who were doing deep substrate back in the
Mm-hmm.
1990s when GARF, the Geothermal Aquatic Research Foundation, was developing techniques for deep substrate coral breeding. And I transposed that uh, by way of a dirted substrate and supplements in the substrate to a freshwater system, and then capped it. And capping it was really, I think, I don't know anybody who was doing capping before me. They were trying it with gravel, but it
Uh-huh.
wasn't working.
I did
Uh,
try. I tried. I actually tried two systems, one with sand and one with gravel, and there were pros and cons with both. Uh, but the sand works better if you want to actually have fish in there.
well, it keeps the nutrients out of the water column.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Michael Brannon. I just had some angels spawn. They're being
Ooh.
great fish parents, protecting and oxygenating the eggs. Any suggestions to keep the eggs safe, or just let nature take its course? If you have any other fish in the tank and you cannot get them out, I would suggest that you take the eggs out if you can, put them in a bare tank with a drop or two of methylene blue and an air stone, and hatch them out independently. Otherwise, the babies are going to get eaten up about as quickly as they hatch. The parents might be able to keep them protected for a while, but in fairly short order, they'll be gone. If you'll do that one or two times, put together the food you'll need. You'll need to start feeding them 3 days after they hatch. If you can get a micro worm culture, that's the easiest and best way to feed them as
Would
brand new babies.
Would you suggest a microworm culture, or would a vinegar eel culture work as well?
Yeah, if you can go through the hassle of getting the eels out of the vinegar, I just I just have always found it a hassle. But
Oh well,
yes, vinegar eels are perfectly fine so long as you can
yeah,
get you don't want to get the vinegar in the tank because
yeah.
it'll change the pH.
It will change the pH, but I've actually so I actually forgot about this, but I've been culturing vinegar eels for like several months. I just sort of left it under the sink, kind of forgot about it, and then
That's the best way to do it. Put a
yeah,
little slice of apple, and
oh yeah,
the population will explode.
yes,
Okay, so what you do is you want to pour some of it into like a beer bottle,
mm-hmm,
something with a fairly long neck, and then push a piece of cotton down in it to the bottom of the neck.
mm-hmm,
If there's fluid above it, pour that off, and then add fresh water to the top of it. The
Mhm.
vinegar eels will come up through the cotton into the fresh water, and you can use either a turkey baster or a siphon to
Mhm.
take them off. They're going to be in fresh water. At that point, siphon them into a very fine mesh net or just into a cup and pour it into the tank.
So I've tried that, and I keep pushing the cotton ball down,
It goes
or
all the way through, I know.
yeah. And so what
That's why I say it's kind of a pain in the butt.
well, what I've ended up doing is I just take a like straight up vinegar. I put a light at the top so all the vinegar eels go all the way up to the top of the bottle, and then I just take a turkey baster and I just put it directly through the mesh net, and you know, and then sometimes I rinse it with water, and then I just put it right in the tank. So far, I don't. Well, I mean that's just large
How are
tanks.
you rinsing them?
Uh, with distilled water, like non-chlorinated water.
In what, a fine mesh net?
Yes, like a baby brine shrimp net.
Yeah, they'll go right through that, of course.
Some of them do, but some of them don't. And then I just take the ones that, then I take excess fluid and I put it back in. I don't know. It's all I got right now because I've tried the cotton thing, and it's really
yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Yeah, vinegar eels are a great food if you're willing to go through the hassle of culturing them. Is easy. It's
Yeah.
collecting them that's the pain in the neck.
Well, my
And you
children love it.
just have to figure out a system for doing it.
Yeah. I should try microworms. I think will be fun.
I don't know if I have. You can buy online
Uh-huh.
a Micron filter. It's a round tube, plastic tube with a mesh in the bottom. That's a
Mm-hmm.
1 micron screen, and that'll capture them. If you can find that, I'm just looking. I don't know. I don't know where I've got them. They're probably out in the shed.
Uh-huh.
But that's a way to be able to harvest them.
Micron filter. I'll
A
put it
a micron filter, yeah.
filter. Oh, I want to give a shout out to Fish Tropic Canada, fellow Canadian. What's up?
Michael Brannan.
I had to say it. Come on.
It's called a vinegar eel. Kim is fish hobby. Kim is saying, yeah, I could have saved a lot of money in the beginning. You know what? That might be a really good approach.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Is catch them before they spend all that money.
Right.
The part of the reason why I got into thinking, also another thing too, besides the money, is I wanted something that was low maintenance and self-sustaining.
Right.
And I knew enough to know that within the circle of life, live plants reduce algae if you have it in balance. I mean, that's something that's pretty easily talked about. It sounds pretty hard and complicated, but if you make it less hard and complicated and then show that it's actually makes it easier to maintain your tank, oh man, that's a real win.
Right. Scuba is asking if you have a channel.
Okay. So about 3 weeks ago, as a faceless lurker, I get on Father Fish for, just because I have 6 months and I've got stuff I like showing off, and everybody else thinks I'm a dork. So, I just got on to show the tank, and now I'm here. But no, I'm generally on YouTube as a faceless lurker. I think that might have to change, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, we're going to get her doing videos.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get her. She's going to get her first video, and we'll get her to 1,000 in the next 3 months, probably sooner. We'll get you monetized.
I don't know. This is just, I love doing this. And
I know you do, and it's great fun, and it's a delight having you. Absolutely is.
Yeah. It's easy. Make a YouTube channel. It's easy. The Fish Fam only makes it earlier?
Probably easier.
Oh, easier.
Probably.
Well, I really, that's
Yeah,
another thing
easier.
about
Yeah.
Discord is, and I think I was mentioning that, it was actually nice to find a place where, number one, people don't judge. And they really don't. Like, for the most part, you can ask the dumbest questions and they're pretty gracious with you, as opposed to me going on Facebook. And there's a lot of Facebook groups and even my local stuff. And I've already gotten kicked off 3 or 4 times just asking questions that aren't politically correct, I guess, in the fish world. I mean,
Yeah, you've come to the right place.
yeah. And it was easier to get information faster as well. I actually saved a lot of time. It went through it got through the noise essentially when I'm
Right.
trying to figure out how to do this.
Snake
So, yeah,
place and love you all deep substrate for life. You
yeah,
got it, Snake, absolutely.
we need to make it like my catchphrase. Substrate for life, baby. I don't know.
Let's see. Michael is saying, I did that one time without the meds and all the eggs to fungus.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for the info. If your eggs are fungusing, if you put them in clean new water, they're not going to fungus. You want to make sure you do not start feeding the fish until they are free swimming. And at that point, you want to put a sponge filter in with the baby fish. Once they come up off the bottom and start swimming, that's the point where they need to have food. Prior to that, no food at all. That it makes it easier then to be able to do that in a bare tank. If you got a little 5-gallon tank or even a gallon jar, some kind of a bowl, anything at all. If the eggs are on a leaf or a piece of driftwood or a slate or anything, whatever it is, put that in the container, preferably leaning so that the eggs are here. So nothing is going to settle on them. And then when they hatch, they'll drop off. Put an air stone in at a very slow bubble. You don't want it ripping and roaring. You want just a very easy, gentle flow. So turn the volume down on the air stone. Once they hatch, it will take them 2 to 3 days, depending on temperature, for them to begin swimming. At that stage, do nothing but watch them. Don't do water change. Don't put food in. Don't do anything. Leave them absolutely alone. If you want to take the slate or leaf or whatever it is out, once they all hatch, you can do that and just leave them alone until they come up off the bottom. At that point, you need to put a sponge filter in there and you need to start feeding them immediately. And then you can do partial water changes every couple of days to keep that water from becoming ammoniated. You want to control ammonia. But if you're feeding live food and you've got an old used sponge filter, one that's already seasoned, that's going to have enough nitrifying bacteria in it to be able to consume the ammonia that's being produced. So it's going to help keep that tank healthy. And you can do partial water changes. And if you do those water changes, if you don't have water set aside, take water out of an existing healthy tank and use that for the water change. You won't have any trouble. You'll be able to get them up and growing after about a week on microworm, or as a last resort, you can feed egg yolk, but I really do not recommend it. It's very easy to foul the tank with egg yolk. Very easy. And that'll create a bacteria bloom that'll kill all the babies. It's so easy to overfeed with that. It's really not worth it unless you are extremely careful. If you can get microworm or vinegar eel, They're commonly easily available. They ship well. You can buy them online. You can buy them through YouTube. I sell them. Lots of people here sell them. You can get them in a couple of days in time to have them to be able to start feeding. So, if you'll do it that way, learn the ropes. You may fail the first time. Try it again. You got to get the steps in a row. Once you get that locked in, you're good to go. You'll be able to repeat it again and again.
I've always wondered about if you want to take eggs out of a tank, if it's exposed, if the fish eggs are exposed to the air, is that going to kill them? I don't know. It was in my head.
Only if you leave them out long enough to dry out.
Okay.
A few seconds is not going to make any difference.
Okay.
It won't
I don't know why, but
matter at all.
that always.
No, you don't need to worry about that. They are wet when you take them out. So if you're taking them out of here, putting them in there, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, not a problem.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Another thing you can do if you've got a temperature issue is float the container that you're putting the eggs in the original tank. That way you're maintaining the same temperature.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's going to be an issue, this time of year it's less an issue because things are warming up, and you're going to have basically the same ambient temperature in your little bowl as there is in the tank.
Yeah, not right now. The difference.
Elizabeth, Elizabeth.
George wants to know about washing play sand before casting my dirt. Yeah, that's what I do. And it's actually really fast and easy.
Oh, you think so? How do you make it fast and easy?
Well, I take it in portion sizes and I put it in a 5-gallon bucket, and I go to the yard and I stick a hose right down the middle of the 5-gallon bucket. And then kind of swirl it around, and all the dirty water and the debris comes up, and I just kind of tilt it over. I don't know. Maybe I've done it so much that now it's just
So you're doing what, about a gallon at a time?
Nope. Sometimes, I don't know. I eyeball it. Sometimes I put more in there, and it takes me a little bit longer to wash. But the smaller portions, it's faster. So, yeah. I mean, if you just do it with and then sometimes, as I'm tipping over, sometimes some of the sand goes out, but not much. So you just have to be. It's fast for me. If you do the hose and you kind of move it around, already embedded in the substrate, and so all this debris comes up with the water, and then you just tip the water over. It's usually on a side, and I'm kind of leaned on an angle against the garden bed, so it all goes into the garden.
So you do that what, 2 times, 3 times?
Depends on how big the tank.
No, I mean for this per batch.
Oh,
per batch of sand.
Oh, I never stop. It's always continuously in there, and then the water's continuously flowing.
Oh,
so
I see.
I just keep it like that, and I move it around with my hands until the water essentially starts flowing clear.
Okay, right.
It goes from dark to clear, and then that's when I know that it's good enough. And I try to I turn the hose off, remove as much water as possible without, having the sand fall out. And then I take it inside and put it in the tank. And I've never had a problem after that.
No, that's fine. That works well. Let me suggest something else. If you're setting up your tank, at the very beginning, you put the dirt down, you're putting the sand on top. You do not need to rinse the sand. If you're putting the sand in before the water goes in, you don't need to rinse it because all of those particles will be beneficial.
Really? Oh, man.
Yeah. I save yourself some effort doing that, and it benefits the system. What you don't want to do is pour play sand into the water column without rinsing it first, because it'll make a muddy mess that'll take forever to clean. The other thing that EJ said that's so important is when you're doing this rinse, don't try to do the whole bag at once. It'll kill you. do 3 or 4 inches. Do maybe a quart of sand, a gallon of sand rather. Do about a gallon at a time. It'll make it much easier and
It
more
actually
practical.
it actually went faster for me the less I did. So, but I didn't know I could just forget.
Well, so long as you're not going to stir it up,
Mm-hmm.
it'll and the particulate matter will will precipitate down into the bottom. So it's not going to stay in the top level of the sand anyway. It'll work its way down.
Okay.
So you can do that. I don't want to get into, yeah, I guess. If you are adding food web material, humic material to the top of the substrate, broken up leaves, detritus, waste material from a pond or from a resurrection jar or bucket. If you're doing that, you want to put that in before you put water in, and then put a lid on it or a plate or something so that when you put the water in, it doesn't stir anything up. The critical thing when you add water is to not stir up that substrate. And you can do the humus right then at the very beginning. You can put a nice, deep, thick layer in. And you can even mix it in a little bit with the sand before you put the water in. And then very carefully add water so you don't get it boiling up.
I did. Here, let me show you this. I'm setting up a 29-gallon tank for my pea puffers. Let me show you what I did. It's a new one. And then I have to check the can. How do I do the can? Oops. Front camera, back camera. Turn this on. So the tannins are really big.
Okay.
I'm putting stones on there because apparently gluing stones on the bottom still causes it to float a little. So I haven't quite figured out how to solve that. But I just put water in yesterday because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to float. So notice how it's really dark.
Yeah.
I put a lot of in between the sand. So there's actually in some cases it's so light of a sand cap that you can see some of the botanicals, but it's basically leaves and stuff that was outside that I basically soaked in water for several weeks.
And you capped that material. That's
I did.
Interesting.
So I did the 1 or 2 inches of the soil, and then I capped that with sand, and then I took the botanical stuff, the humus junk, and then I capped a very light layer, but it's still leaching into the water
yeah. Okay. No, yeah. That's good. That's good. I like it.
Yeah. So I'm still kind of working on what it's going to look like, and I did like what we call a no-no. I took wood from different sources, so the woods don't actually entirely match, and but I kind of like it. I know it's
you got stones holding the wood down, is it?
Yeah, but and that's because yesterday when I filled it up, because I was testing it before I start putting plants in there, I'd actually glued rocks underneath some of the main.
Okay.
And that would be and then I glued it with Gorilla Gel glue. I glued all these things together, and I was hoping that would be enough to hold it down. And unfortunately, it did start to float. So I just put rocks on it until I kind of figure out a solution for it, because I do want it to soak anyway. I want the wood to soak anyway.
Yeah, after a month or 2, it'll be okay. It'll take a little while for it to absorb. Yeah.
I'm impatient.
Waterlogged.
I'm impatient, so I'll figure out some way where I can. At least you don't see the rocks. I'm thinking about gluing some on the back, and holding it down a little bit that way. But that's essentially the structure which I've put together.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be good. The pea puffers will love it.
Yeah.
They like places to hide and go into, so that'll be nice.
Yes. I actually learned that through Discord. So that
Right.
whole purpose of creating this almost spider web of wood. I can't even call it wood. I mean, can't even call it drip.
Get your camera right up to the glass
Okay.
and move it around a little.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Now the thing is that it's different because it's different wood from different sources, and most of it's collected. The smaller pieces I actually uh, got online for a couple of bucks. But the rest of the wood is collected from outside. Let's see. There's if you can see this one long piece. You can see my reflection. No, I need to show. There's like one long piece that goes all the way up to the out of the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But so I guess the artistic no is you're supposed to have wood that has all the same color and essentially from the same source. So this is a bit of what I call an artistic risk. But
There you go.
but I like it.
Great. I agree.
So
Nice.
yeah. All right. Back to you, sir.
James Green is saying, I agree. As a novice, I was amazed there were some issues and questions that riled up some aquarists.
Yeah.
The chaos from freshwater to saltwater is scary. Yeah, I think part of the problem is there are people who have been keeping fish for 5 or 10 years. They went through a real struggle at the beginning and developed their own technique, and it works for them. And they're able to do what they set out to do, which is whatever it is, basically to keep fish alive long term. And so, whatever it is they do that got them there, they're absolutely committed to it. And they don't want to brook any alternative because they tried that and it failed, or they're afraid it would fail. They got something they're locked into. It's kind of a myopic approach. Um, I don't know what I want to say about that exactly. It's fine as far as it goes. And I'm not one to insist that people ought to try everything, although EJ is a great experimentalist. She loves to try all kinds of things. Um, but what I do want to say about that is there is a simple way to do things that is enormously effective. It happens to be a simple way that a huge number of people in the industry and in the hobby are deeply and bitterly opposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Why that is, I'm really not sure. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Part of it is economics. I know I expect never to be contacted by any of the companies that sell products because by and large I oppose the use of products.
That's not true. I think Home Depot would be happy to sponsor you.
I thought about not Home Depot, but Tractor Supply.
Oh yeah. We don't have Tractor Supply anywhere close to where I live. I'm too inner.
Tractor Supply would be an absolutely natural place, or any garden shop like Lowe's Garden Shop, to be able to set up a display of aquariums based on using all of the garden supplies that they sell. It's a gardening. It is aquatic gardening. That's all in the world it is. That's all in the world I'm teaching is gardening. aquatic gardening. And if you know how to garden soil, then you know how to do a natural aquarium, a gardened aquarium. It's the same identical thing. There are only one or two things you need to do, the basic one of which is to sand cap it so you can keep the water and the dirt relatively separate. That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Um, Somebody asked a question. Oh, I have Kima's Fish Hobby says, I have a Biomax BP soil that I use to propagate my African violets in. Do you think I could use it as the soil in a dirted tank using the mesh bags or mesh bags? Probably mesh bags.
There's no particular benefit to using a mesh bag. In fact, I think unless you're using it to scape, if you're trying to create a mound or a hill or a different kind of look, then there's some advantage to doing that. But by and large, there's no real advantage because you want the roots to have easy access to the soil. And if they have to work their way into the bag, um, it's just creating a block where you don't need a block. I don't see any real advantage to using the bag. So far as the material is concerned, there's no problem at all. If you will mix it with some humus, with some peat moss, and maybe add the supplements
Mm-hmm.
that I market, that's going to give you a long-term standing kind of foundation. But yeah, any soil will work.
The recipe for your soil, for the soil, is actually on Discord, and I use that to reference when I, especially with the measurements.
Yeah,
I use
that's
that.
right.
I use the Discord channel to reference when I'm trying to put together a substrate for a new tank.
Devil Dog, hello, Devil Dog. Good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. James is saying the alternative to the myopic approach is to listen to multiple experiences and choose what fits with one tank inhabitants, the location, budget, knowledge, wisdom, and common sense.
Yeah,
Well,
comments
there you go.
very common.
Yeah, well, he's right. Everybody's got to find their own way in this.
Well, one thing I noticed that it's actually with water. Everybody's water is different, and everybody's location is different. So, I've got some folks who on the Facebook channel are absolutely, and maybe I'll get some hate here. I don't actually use a heater for my beta tanks. I don't need to.
I noticed that and your tanks will go down to to 70 degrees.
Yeah, they will.
But you've got them in a big tank,
Yes.
which means that the variation is going to be much slower than it would in a little bowl.
Yes. But even in a little bowl, it doesn't. At least I don't know. Even a little bowl, the variation isn't as great, I find. But I guess my version of a little bowl is like 5 gallon to 4.
Yeah, a little goal is like a quart to a gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't.
So what's the ambient temperature in your house?
The ambient temperature. So that's not that it's an uncomplicated question. I live in Texas, hot Texas. So I have the curtains open, and so even though I have the thermostat set at, I don't know, it could be anywhere from 73 to 75 during the day. When the heat comes in through the windows, it's going to be a little bit warmer. And
right.
So I mean,
so you're pushing 78.
Yeah. This tank has been higher. I mean, even though it's 78 in the room, say, because the lid's on it, it actually retains a lot of the heat from the lights as well. And so I find smaller tanks is that the light also influence the temperature.
Right.
So I've never had a problem. I don't even know what to say. I know that it's an issue. I've just learned through experience that I almost killed a fish one day because I had the heater on, and for some reason it malfunctioned. And by the time I caught it, because I noticed the fish were gasping,
Yeah.
I in the back of my mind, like, wait, let's try the temperature, and it was almost 80. It was 84. It was
Which is not particularly warm, but yeah, okay.
well, maybe it was 86, but they were stressed, so I had to cool it down relatively quickly without shocking them. But you know, kind of
Well, there are other factors.
yeah.
Um, the difficulty that most people run into
Mm-hmm.
with colder water is parasites and pollution. Parasites like ick
Mm-hmm.
that are brought in with plants or fish or some other material that's put in the tank, and they tend to flourish in colder temperatures. So if you're careful about that, so you never have that kind of problem, then a lower temperature is fine. One of the benefits of a lower temperature is it reduces the growth rate of bacteria,
Hmm.
particularly bacteria that can overwhelm the system. In other words, monocultural bacteria. There are all kinds of bacteria in that tank behind you. Uh, to have a healthy, balanced tank, there need to be 1,000 different species of bacteria, and you probably got hundreds,
I
but
probably
they're in balance.
yeah. Um, One thing I did is I took water from the outside, my green water that had a ton of little Infusoria, and I
Yep,
seeded this with it. And I don't
that's
know,
perfect.
experiment. I thought, well, let's kickstart the microfauna.
Right, and what that does is it does something that cannot happen without doing that. In order, here are the numbers. In
Mm-hmm.
order to have a balanced aquarium, you need 1,000 species of bacteria. You need 500 species of fungus. You
Mm-hmm.
need 150 species of microfauna and 150 species of microflora. Now, where are you going to get that? You're not going to get it out of a bottle, and you're not going to get it by accident. You're going to get it by bringing it in from where it exists. And where it exists is in every single body of water under the sun. So you get it from a body of water under the sun. And you
Yeah.
bring it in and you put it in the tank, and then you've got it, then it's established. It takes a while for all that to build its way in, but at that point, you've got the foundation. You have the roots of
Mm-hmm.
what you need.
Now it looks like this.
That's right.
Mhm.
Gorgeous. Who
I
else?
also studs and blackburn.
What
So,
size tank is that, AJ?
oh, it's 75. And I've been experimenting with smaller tanks because the larger tank is more forgiving. And so I want to see what I can do to find balance in smaller bodies of water. So that's
Right.
kind of
Sun,
it. It's been a little bit more difficult. Mhm.
Sunset Jen likes your wood stack.
Oh, thank you. I'm hoping my pea puffers will too.
Ah, Scott beat it to me.
Yeah.
Beat me to it. Right. He says a pond or a stream. Right. That's where you get it. Right.
Under a stream.
Any body of water under the sun.
I've
Uh, Drift and Driftwood wants to know what light you have on that tank.
So the one I've used in the past are those cheap Amazon lights that you can get online for a couple of bucks. But this one, I couldn't. I actually bought a Higer. And the reason why I couldn't do the normal, so I kind of DIY my lights. It's, the aquariums with the black top, your classic aquarium with the black lid. And then of course it comes with a standard light, absolutely useless for growing plants. What I've done is I've taken light strips from Amazon, like indoor, like plant lights or like grow lights. I don't know. People use them to grow all sorts of things inside for whatever purposes. And then I attach them with I DIY it, sometimes with sticky tape, sometimes with using a screwdriver. Either way, I attach it secured to the lid, and then I use those lights, and they actually, you can get some really good growth out of it. The only issue was the depth, because I found that it didn't, if it was a shallow tank, it was easier to get the light to the bottom as opposed to a higher tank. So that was what I ran into.
Guess who's here?
The what?
Guess who is here?
Oh, James. Oh, Cooley.
Here he is.
Hey.
Yeah, how's it going, baster?
How are you, Josh? You got home. Good man. Good to see you.
It's good to be here.
Thank you. We were talking about Discord earlier.
Mhm.
Uncle Jagger is our master Discord, or Discord master, I should say. He's been there for almost from the beginning. Been over a year.
Been a while.
Right. So we're trying to encourage people to come over there. Let's see, there was Christy made a comment. She just started her first resurrection jar, wondering about leaving the lids on the jars. It doesn't matter. You can leave them on or take them off. It doesn't make a bit of difference. If you got them outdoors, I would leave them on loose, because you don't want it to boil if it's in the sunlight. But it will keep mosquito larvae out. Unless you want to harvest mosquito larvae as fish food, and that's better done in a bucket or some such thing than in a jar. But if it's sitting on a window ledge, just leave the lid on loose. And then every day or two, take it off a little bit. Leave at least an inch of air space at the top. You don't want to fill it all the way. So you want a little bit of air exchange to occur, and it'll be fine.
I actually found that when I was trying to culture green water, if I left the lid on loose, it got greener faster than as opposed to leaving it open, the open to the air. And I don't know why. Like I that was just something I observed. I don't know why. It would make more sense if it was open to the air, that it would culture green water faster. Now these are clear jugs that I put in old aquarium water, and I squeeze sponge filters in there, and then I put in like rotting or boiled vegetables.
Well, the problem is if you leave it open, there are all kinds of microfauna that get into water from the air. They're very tiny. They're part of the dust that's being blown around, and they get in there and they eat the green algae.
Oh,
That's what they do.
That makes sense. Why
that's food, right? It ain't just Daphne. It's everything. Everything eats green algae.
Yeah. Who was it?
If you want to keep it, again, that's another way. You can use any kind of fine mesh net or anything on the lid to keep everything out. If all you want is green water, then you need to keep everything out except what you're putting in there. And generally, a dead leaf or a little starter culture. A dead leaf is good. A little piece of vegetable matter, something that the algae will feed on.
I used to, so I've tried it different ways. I've tried putting in old aquarium leaves, and then green water from a different, I have a tank out there that I accidentally created a dark green water. I'm just happy that it's, well, I don't know how it happened, but
Right.
now,
Here's
I'll
an idea for you for green water.
the what?
Here's an idea. Idea for you for green water. Take you some dirt, shake it up, let it settle, pour the water off of it into your green water culture.
So
There,
you,
girls,
oh,
it
you
should
just,
help
Yeah,
feed
that
it.
provides a lot of nutrient.
oh, so
Right.
you take a bunch of dirt, you put it in, I guess a bottle of,
A water bottle or whatever.
and you just shake it up, and then you put the water that you shake up after it settles into whatever container you want.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'll try that.
Christy's saying her jars are a little stinky. That'll go away. That will clear up. That's simply an imbalance, but it'll straighten out in a matter of days. George Trotter is saying, "Are you saying I can go to my local lake, collect leaves near the water, and put them in my tank?" Yes. How often? About once a month. You'll see they'll deteriorate. They're deteriorating because they are being consumed. They're being eaten. So as they deteriorate, they need to be replaced. Think of it as food. That's precisely what it is. The food web in freshwater everywhere in the world is based on the leaves from trees and other plants.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to put more leaves in. It's due.
Right.
I hide it in the back. So
Oh, it gets ahead of you real quick. You know, it's hard to do more than that was the one thing I was upset about with this tank that blew out. I had a deep humic bed in there, about 2 inches deep, and I was really excited about it. And then the whole thing, I don't know what happened. It cracked, I guess.
Yeah.
In a matter of 15 minutes, it was drained.
Oh.
Fortunately, I came back and saw it and was able to save the fish.
At least it didn't like completely blow out. Just drained, and so the fish.
It sounds like it pretty much blew out.
I think it cracked. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
not found the crack yet, but it had a crack or a seam opened. It's an old tank, so not unexpected.
I'm scared to death that'll happen to me. I don't know. I haven't been in the hobby long enough, but I've heard stories that if you're in the hobby long enough, it's inevitable that a tank is going to crack, and it's just going to happen. I don't know.
Right. I
And
think
a lot of times with the aquariums, a lot of people will take that chance on that seam that doesn't look too good. Somebody scrubbed on it too hard with something. You'll take that chance, and that seam will come loose on you at some point.
Okay.
yeah, if you're gonna have a tank in your living room, then you want to have the best, newest, strongest tank you've got. And when it gets to the point,
A year old.
well, a year old is fine. 10 years old maybe is not.
Oh no.
When it gets to the point where you're questioning it, move it out because it's gonna go. Eventually, it absolutely has to happen. So if you're sitting on a rug in a room that you care about the floors, make sure your tank is new or near new, that it's clean, that is the glass is clean. There are no nicks in it.
Yeah.
The seal is perfect.
I inspected.
Don't take any chances.
Yeah. So, yeah, I inspected the seal on this because I was paranoid about it. And then I started filling it with water and going, oh, this is a lot of water.
Well, that's right. and it's made to hold it.
Hmm.
So it'll be okay. But at a given point, it's going to fail. That point may be 20 years down the road, but at a given point, it will fail. So you want to have a fish room with a concrete floor
Mm-hmm.
so that you don't have to worry about it. Put them in the garage. If you got a lanai, whatever it takes to get your fish room off the wooden floor. Don't allow it to happen because you will rue the day.
I bet. I'm afraid that if I move my fish room to, or set up a fish room in the garage, that it'll get too hot for the fish.
Well, it's going to be hotter than it is now. I've
Yeah.
got a lot of friends here in Florida who have their fish rooms in the garage, and their garage is permanently closed. They don't ever open that door, and it'll get up in the low 90s. Does not affect the fish. The fish will be absolutely fine with it. Tropical fish handle water in the 90s throughout the year
Mm-hmm.
in their natural habitat. They can handle warm water. Now, over 100 they can handle, but you can always find ways to control that.
Okay.
Just
The
open
hot
a
like
window.
it adds some air too, helps them out
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
whenever
right.
it is warm.
Open a
Like,
window, open the door.
yeah,
You
like
know,
a sponge filter, et cetera, et cetera.
right? What happened? Silicone. Scott's talking about silicone um, delamination. Kind of,
Mm.
yeah. It'll fail. Here's what happens. You've got a seal and you've got a contact holding that seal, a bead that holds that seal together. That that bead is under attack by all of the things that you do in the tank. When you're cleaning the glass, you're bumping up against that seal. The effect on it is infinitesimal and microscopic. But if you do it 1,000 times, once a week, once a day, whatever it is, once every couple of days, after a few years, it'll begin to wear. And as that bead wears, water gets behind it and there's constant pressure. So that pressure will eventually open up that seam. In an old tank, you want to redo all the seams. That makes it a new tank again, so long as the silicone holding the glass together is solid. You can look at it and see. You look at the edge, and if it looks like there are bubbles, then that seam is opening, and you don't want to trust it.
Not at all.
Now I'm thinking about inspecting my tank again.
Always a good idea,
Mhm.
It's never a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
I put too much love and effort into this tank to let it crash.
Yeah, amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, it's going to be good for another 5 years minimum.
In
In 5 years, you'll be looking about doing something else.
probably, in about 2 years, I'll probably be moving out to a different. We've got plans to leave, to actually go to buy something different. So I don't know, and the economy's made it a little bit difficult. But at this point, it's a 2-year plan. So in 2 years, we will be buying a house in some other location, and I've told my husband that I need a fish room.
Right. Absolutely. So nothing holds forever. That's the rule, Scott.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. We
George
are
wants
running all over Lucas here.
Yeah, I think we talked about that, resealing the tank. I tried actually resealing, I got my hands on a free old 20-gallon tank, and I I thought, okay, this is another kind of learning project I'm going to try to figure out. But you know what? I couldn't. I tried. So I undid the seal and I kind of got it, sort of halfway there. But what made me stop and get really mad with it was I couldn't get there was white stuff on the rim, like all over, and I could not for the life of me. I even ordered hydrochloric acid.
Oh, to get the stains off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hydrochloric acid. I mean, that you don't get any stronger than that.
Yeah, the problem is that the glass can become etched. And once it does, there's no fixing it.
Yeah.
There really isn't. There's just nothing you can do about it. And it'll be etched by something as simple as moisture building up on the outside of it over a period of years.
Yeah. Well, it was
I've had tanks. There are lots of fish farms that have glass tanks. The farms have been there 20, 30 years. Their tanks are so badly etched, you can't see into them.
I think I've seen fish shops like that.
And there's no way they can be cleaned.
Well, that was, I got so mad at it. I threw it in the dumpster and went to Petco and bought a similar 20-gallon, and it was the dollar sale, so I didn't care, and I was almost like to spite the whole thing. So
Really?
Yeah.
Naresh, your tank is a 75. That's a 75-gallon tank.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Naresh, thank you for that thumbnail at the beginning. That was very well done. Thank you very much.
Hey, 3G. Who was it that?
Melted butter.
Yeah. Who was the person that talked about koi? Because Naresh has some really pretty long fin goldfish. Sorry, is that a taboo?
Right.
Josh, you have this biker.
Yes, biker.
Samuel Schultz.
Oh, so cute. It's a beautiful tank. That's the one behind you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one where you have
the one saying you can polish glass. You can polish glass.
Yes.
I've never tried it.
I actually did with that 29-gallon that I pointed out. It had a couple of light scratches, so I kind of Googled it, and I bought it was like a powder and a buffer sponge, and the powder I'd have to post it later in the comments because it eludes me. But yeah, it gets out some of the. I spent a little bit of time trying to buffer those light scratches, and it gets out it got out some of the light scratches. It actually worked pretty well.
Nice.
A little bit of elbow grease. It was basically powder selenium.
Probably.
Yeah, and then that specific buffering cloth, a little bit of elbow grease, and I don't think it would have worked for deep scratches though.
Right, you wouldn't be able to get deep enough. Christy likes your tank, Corporal Jagger.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, let's get a better shot of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to take some effort. I'm not set up for that.
You should have known that. You should have known we were going to ask about it.
Right.
I love the fact that I guess from I don't know if I'm artistic or not, but I guess from an eye that I'm looking at based on the fish you have, the kind that just the sort of the ecosystem setup you have just fits him so well.
Yeah, they seem to enjoy it.
Large log.
He did about 6 months planning to put that together.
It took a while to get it all and make it all happen. But it turned out though.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, you guys talk about it. I'm going to grab that powder.
These rocks down in here and all over, they're rocks out of creeks up in West Virginia.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think I've pretty well decided I'm not going to take any fish up to Maryland with me. I'm
I
going to
don't blame
take
you.
back, and I'm going to empty all my tanks.
Hmm.
I'm going to start over on everything, and try to do as much native as I can, which will include some saltwater stuff, because I'm going to be near the estuary.
Absolutely. Is everything up there for the most part cold water?
Oh yeah, in the summer we get, because of the Gulf Stream, we get some coral, some Florida fish that work their way up by end summer. But yeah, it's cold water. It's going to be a totally different kind of environment, and I think that's why I want to do this. The other thing is, uh, I want to start all over again and see if I can reach a whole new population of people. That's really my goal, is to try
Hmm.
to find a way to reach a whole new group of people who are on YouTube. There are 500,000 people minimum, probably 1,000,000 fish keepers on YouTube. I have managed to reach about 10,000, maybe 20,000 tops. I want to reach a whole lot more. To do
Hmm.
that, I think I need to reinvent myself, which is why I really appreciate you guys, because you're helping me do that. You're helping me get a whole new lease on what I'm about here. I think moving out of Florida is going to help with that as well, because it'll get me in a completely different environment where I'll have a completely different set of variables to work with.
Hmm. Oh, I found the powder. It's high grade cerium oxide.
Cool,
Amazon.
nice.
And
So
I
that's
got
very fine. And what's your buffing cloth?
you can pick it's what you use to polish a car with.
Okay, just a pad.
Like a
Yeah.
fiber cloth or whatever.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, microfiber,
Mm-hmm.
a microfiber pad. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That
So
probably that probably can be used to get the etching off, because that etching is really pretty shallow. It's not deep.
yeah.
It would
I
take some
know
real
for,
effort.
I know
Probably you'd want to use a drill with the pad.
yeah, I
Yes.
had a small drill with it, but it wasn't the right type of drill, wasn't the right, it was too small. So I just ended up using my
One of
hand.
them headlight kits.
Daryl
Uh,
Sanders. Hello,
those
Daryl.
headlight kits come with the little buffing pads for a drill.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Some of it, yeah. So he wants to know what the size is. It says 3.5 ohms trio 85%. I don't know what that means. It's high grade cerium oxide.
Well, it's certainly down below a micron.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Microscopic.
Yeah, look, a lot, I've learned how to do basic carpentry, basic electrical, plumbing, just a lot of this stuff. It's kind of, so I don't really have so I've been building that as a toolbox. I want to try this project. It requires this material. So I, plan it, stock it, and then try it.
Bravo. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
I'm not a carpenter. I've never done, I've never done a lot of this stuff. I just sort of learn as I go.
Melted butter.
Darter's
Darter.
rule.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
looking
Sam.
forward to it.
Yeah. Oh,
I wanna
Samuel,
do darters.
you
I
said
want to do sticklebacks. I've not been able to do sticklebacks, and I'm dying to do sticklebacks.
well, that'll be
And there are
fun.
Been
plenty of
talking about them for over a year now.
I know
About what?
I've been talking about them for 20 years or more, ever since I've been in Florida. Ah,
Well, now's
It's
your
coming though.
opportunity. Samuel says he's been working with, okay, I don't know these names, but I will be looking them up after this live stream. Goshiki. Oh, I'm going to butcher this. Somebody else talk. I'm just going to embarrass myself.
Oh, yeah, I see. Samuel. Koshiki, Shunrai Shiro Utsuri, Kohaku, and Okibaga Shigur.
Is he talking about aquascaper?
Okiba Shigur. Okiba Shigur.
Koi.
He's talking about koi.
Oh, okay. I
Koi,
got you.
koi strains. They're really not species. They're
Yeah.
strains of koi that have different patterns. Exciting stuff. So
Yeah.
Samuel is into koi. And that's something to be into, I'm here to tell you.
Yeah. They're so pretty. So when I was a kid, my dad had this tank and he bought this koi fish to put in a 29-gallon tank along with a couple of guppies, and we couldn't figure out for the life of us why the guppies kept disappearing.
They were
The
chewing
koi
them up. Well, big
Yeah.
koi will eat, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was only about 4 inches originally, but it grew fast. So we ended up putting it at, my dad ended up putting it in a pond somewhere. But that was
3.5 nanometer. Well,
nano.
yeah. Give us fish hobby. Jagger, where'd you get your rock in West Virginia? Do you know?
It was up around Reeder, up there in the northern peninsula.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be going up there to like Harper's Ferry.
I got you. Yeah, I used to. Oh, what's the name of that place down there in the big mountains? But my dad lives up there. I try to go up there every year. Dolly Sod, that's the mountain range that we try to go out to all the time.
Oh, nice. Yeah. West Virginia is a magnificent state. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. Scott is offering to assist with my fish. Well, I appreciate that, Scott. I do have people active in the club here who I'm going to place my fish with. So I've kind of got that covered. But I appreciate the offer. Kimmy is born and raised in West Virginia. He misses it. I'll bet you do too.
Any red
Melted Butter asked this question earlier. Red plants that can survive without CO2. No plant will survive without CO2. But if you have a deep substrate, that deep substrate is creating CO2 continuously in a much greater volume than an artificial system can put CO2 into the water column. So you're able to get it where it's needed, which is down around the roots of the plants, so that they can absorb that CO2. It is the breakdown of humic substance that creates CO2. And that occurs in the dirt and substrate. That's one of its primary activities.
That's what's crazy about it. This is low tech, 100% low tech.
Right.
Well, there's a filter in it, but the tiger lilies have popped. I've got red rotella in there too that are red and continuously red. So yeah, it shocked me because I know that in many cases, a lot of these plants that are red with CO2 turn green without CO2. Rotella is one of them.
Right, that's true. Okay, XL Smoke Showix is saying your tank is astounding. I'm scared to ask how much weekly maintenance. You want to talk about that?
Who'd you talk to, me or EJ?
EJ, I think.
Oh,
well, both of you for that.
I mean, you know how much maintenance I do, Father Fish. I, I think I've done 3 water changes
Yeah.
in
In what,
4 months. Yeah,
I haven't done any
that's
water
it.
changes this one at all.
What's
I
your
haven't removed.
maintenance? Yeah. EJ, what's your maintenance schedule?
think
For
the
that
biggest
tank.
maintenance is trimming the plants. and some of my fish have no respect for the roots in the front, so I have to figure out how to plant them deeper, but they uproot a lot of the front, at least the front. They uproot a lot of my plants. I think I have a lot of I think I have a lot of very voracious algae eaters on the bottom, so they're constantly moving up the soil. But yeah, that's I mean, if water gets low, I add water.
Yep.
There's really no reason for me to change
That's what I do.
water.
Did you get that, Excel? So the weekly maintenance is something around 0.
Well, I got to add about 5 gallons of water a week. That's it.
Well, I've
There
got a
you go.
lid, but no, for me, it's mostly gardening, trimming the plants. It's gardening. I haven't gardened this week actually, and that's what it looks like. So
Trimmed about 2 weeks ago.
yeah, I trimmed it about 2 weeks ago.
Right. And it won't be due for another 2 weeks, probably.
I kind of want in there and move some stuff. That's optional.
Depends how fussy you are.
Yeah. Well, it's fun.
So yeah, deep substrate reduces maintenance to near 0 because you're not cleaning the tank. Maintenance for most people means cleaning the tank.
I don't even have to hot algae. Like, it's not there.
Right. Yeah, here's a good example. This tank, the water, the glass, the only time I need to clean this is to clean the outside that got spots on it from me splashing water on it. There is no algae in there at all. That light is on 16 hours a day. There's no algae.
Yeah,
I've
my
got
lights are on 12 to 14 hours a day.
6-inch deep substrate in it. No maintenance on that tank. None at all.
Yes, melted butter. Try the red plants. They're fun. I love the red plants. I love the different textures of colors. So, different, I don't know, the light green next to the darker green and different shades of that. And then you add red in various shades as well. So it's a lot of fun. The only plant that the red plant that I have a lot of difficulty with is the Altherna Reineke. That's a tricky red plant.
Reineke's a tough one.
I can
it absolutely is.
burn.
Well, it's a highlight plant is the problem.
Yes.
Some of these plants grow in direct sunlight,
Mm-hmm.
and they just require a very high, intense light.
I've been able to convert that plant to an immersed version, and that's worked out really well. But submerged, it has to be pretty shallow and really close to the light, I've found.
Corporal Michael wants to know what pants you're wearing. Oh,
I think it's plants.
he means plants, right? The plants with the cuts. It's a Philadelphia.
I think you really meant to say pants. Yeah.
There's a Monstera Delicio and a Monstera Andesani that's in there that's got some holes in them.
Right. So we got to convert.
Yay, we have a convert. Oh, sorry. I DIY'd my camera stand with a 5-gallon bucket and duct tape. So duct tape is awesome. Just needs a little love.
Yeah.
Not bad for you, right?
How are we doing? We're at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're running all over Lucas. But then Alex is running all over us. So, and we've still got 60 people here.
Yeah.
So we're doing just fine. Thank you very much. Yeah, right at 60. Bravo.
Oh,
Hit
cool.
the like button, folks. Make sure you are subscribed. I have given everybody a wrench. You don't get to keep it when you come back unless you're subscribed, because it goes away. But if you're subscribed, click the bell so you know about stuff that's coming up. And please, please, please share. You know, get the word out. We really want to get out and reach new people. We want to build a movement here that will bring thousands of new fish keepers into successful fish keeping, first time out of the gun, first time in the tank.
Oh, don't forget the Discord. I found that wasted. I found that I saved a lot of time by asking on the Discord channel various things. And yeah, I probably saved at least a couple hours of research just by that alone. Or going to Discord for a resource.
Yeah, we've got a number of people in there who are very highly skilled aquarists who have been around for years and years. RJ, for example, is in there. He keeps killies. He's been keeping killies for 50 years. He knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And there are others. We got a lot of people in there who are very highly skilled and are ready and willing to help.
Well, it's funny you mentioned RJ because he and I talked a little bit back and forth about certain things. And one of the things that made me really at least respect him in this conversation was he completely acknowledged that just because he does things a certain way doesn't mean that it's going to be the all end all.
There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat.
Yeah. Yes. And the fact that he acknowledged that in the conversation made it a lot more open.
Yeah, it's interesting. When he first came in, he had never done a deep dirted substrate, and he had he wasn't opposed to it, but he keeps killies in little tiny tanks, so there's no particular benefit to him doing that. And I don't know that he set up a tank or that he's tried it yet, but he is he's gradually become a convert. I warned him he better not go up against me on it, which he has not done. So, but an interesting thing, he has run across some situations where there have been problems caused by it. For example, the latest one was somebody bringing in leeches with their resurrection jar. And I decided to create a channel called Parasites. And the first entry in there is leeches and what to do about it. So we're not gonna avoid any problems that are created. We're gonna find solutions, gonna find ways to deal with it so that we can move forward together on this and really make it work. Nothing is absolutely foolproof, but we can overcome. We can deal with the problems in a way that is homeopathic, that's natural, that does not involve pouring a bunch of chemicals into a tank or doing things that are going to kill all the microfauna. That's real critical.
Yeah. Oh, you just created a channel in a Discord of, I guess it was, can't remember what it's called. It's about plants and actually trading.
A trading post or something.
Yes.
Trading post, right.
Great for me because I'm a bit of a plant hoarder and it just kills me to throw out plant clippings. So I've got tanks of plants that I really have no place for, and they're beautiful and they're healthy. And I don't even want any money for them. I'll give them away for free. Like, if it requires shipping, sorry, I'm not paying that. But I mean,
well, the rule for the trading post is that the buyer or the recipient pays and whatever costs are associated with packaging. Plants are very simple to package. You put them in a little plastic bag, you squeeze all the air out of them, you put it in an envelope and send it in the mail. You do it priority, it'll get there in 2 or 3 days, and they will be fine. Won't be a problem.
Yeah, I'm very happy to share the plants because it literally breaks my heart if I have to throw them out.
Well, make sure you list them on that channel, what
Sure.
you got, and then
I'll take.
people will be able to contact you. You can, when you do that, you can put your email in, or if you're going back in there routinely, just keep an eye on it. This is not anything we're looking to make any money on. We simply want to find a way for people to be able to do some bartering and some exchanging of materials that they can't use for other folks who really can use them.
And plants are actually expensive, so
Yep. Pass on the love. I know a lot of people that throws them in the compost.
Yeah. Tukoli feels the same way. He hates wasting plants.
Yes. Yeah.
I think Tukoli is a woman. It's been a while, but I think so.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Bell loves some plants. We'll get on over there and take a look.
Yeah. I've got dwarf lilies because I got runners from that. Pretty much anything in here has to be clipped. So, and I've got more out there. Yeah. I need somebody to take them because I can't. It's like, I know I probably need therapy for it, but I can't throw them away.
Parasite worms. Parasite worms. What about parasite worms? I've got a video on parasites. You need to watch it. It's one of the best videos I ever made. It's an amazing video. And it's all about the wonder of parasites. I don't know if I can find it.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody can dig that up, post the link. If you just type in parasites, Father Fish, and you'll get it on YouTube. Fabulous, fabulous video. Gives you a slant on parasites you've never had before. It'll make you, if not love parasites, then at least have a positive attitude toward them in general. Right. Yes, I thought I remembered that.
Yeah. Brooklyn, I will send you plants.
Wonderful.
Columnaris disease. What medication or treatment do you recommend?
Who's doing this?
Mixwriter?
Mixwriter. God. What do I recommend for columnaris? That's a nasty bugger. Probably the nastiest. Neon disease, it's also called. Guppy disease. It affects female guppies. It affects neons.
Oh. Does it affect beta?
No, I don't think so. Not normally. I'll tell you how I control it. When I see a fish that is coming down with it, I pull the fish out and I feed it to a bigger fish. There's no way to cure it. Once it is on a fish, it cannot be cured. So the thing you have to do, there are medications you can treat with. Frankly, I don't think any of them work particularly well. And they have the side effect of killing everything else in the tank, at least all the microscopic material. It is a parasitic, it's a parasitic infection, if you will. If you get the fish out, the minute it looks like it's getting it, you'll see a white, it'll develop a white patch on the back in the middle of the fish. It'll start turning white. Female guppies get it, neons get it. The minute you see it, get that fish out of there and dispose
Autocyclus?
of it. Pardon?
What about autocyclus?
I've never seen it on autos. I've
maybe-
only ever seen it on guppies and tetras, primarily neons and cardinals. If it becomes a serious infestation, it can kill more than that. Generally, it kills by species. And with the guppies, it won't kill a male, but it'll kill all the females. It's a nasty, dreadful thing. The best way to deal with it is as soon as you see it, get the fish out of the tank. It does not affect other fish until it kills the fish and releases and then goes to other fish. So you really can remove it. It can come out if you'll just be drastic and harsh about it. Any fish that you think has got it, take it out of the tank. If you want to put it in a separate container for a while and wait and see what happens, that's fine. If you want to treat it, that's fine. Fenbendazole is typically what's recommended for it. I find nothing works particularly well, especially if the fish is already affected. Get it out of the tank instantly. Don't wait an hour. Don't wait 10 minutes. Take it out immediately. You can tell if you got it. You'll start seeing dead fish. You'll start seeing like a white patch that'll be right on the top center of the fish. It'll lose all of its color. If you see that, take that fish out and dispose of it. You can feed it to another fish. It won't go beyond that. Once it hits the digestive juices of another fish, it'll be destroyed.
That's just
Craig Broderick. Hello, Craig.
yeah. That oh
Bunny Viper. Hey, Bunny Viper. Nice to see you.
yeah. I had a, well, I don't know if let's call him Neris, but I don't know. It was one of the first tanks I set up, and it was before the deep substrate, and it was. I never took pictures of it because I don't know what I put in the tank, but the fish started dying, and my heart just started breaking. It was hard. It was hard to get past that. This is before finding polar fish. It's before all of that, but it was just really tough. It's hard to.
Yeah, it is. MX Rider, mine doesn't have a patch, just clam fins and not eating. So if it's not eating, you need to take the fish out of the tank. Do not leave a sick fish in your tank. Never leave a sick fish in the tank. Set up a hospital tank, a bear tank with new water, and you never put food in with a sick fish unless it is nibbling, and at that point you can treat with garlic, crushed garlic. But it's got to be eating for that to work because you want to get it inside the fish. Take sick fish out and put them in a hospital tank. Do not leave them in your tank. If it is ick, raise the temperature to 86 degrees. That'll get rid of the ick in 2 to 3 days. That's all you need to do. And if you catch it right away, you will not lose a single fish. If you wait a week, you will lose everything.
Brooklyn Bell says she battled and researched columnaris for almost 4 months. The struggle is real. Not columnaris, but like research and having a sick tank, and it's just.
Yeah, Brooklyn Bell, whitish dull patch, local fish store had it everywhere in their tanks.
Yeah.
Research battled it for 4 months. You can't beat it. You can't defeat it. The only thing you can do is get rid of it. Get it out of the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's vaguely infected, you take it out. If you got it, you got to be draconian about it. And you can stop it. You really can stop it. It may cost you, if you got 25 neons, it might cost you 20 of them. But if you're draconian about it, you can stop it.
Yeah. Hold on.
Cataplex, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to say. You know, a fish that is not eating is typically a fish that has severe internal, usually bacterial infection in the gut. Could be parasites, but it's reached a point of no return. If it is not eating, there ain't a thing you can do about it. You're gonna lose the fish.
I managed to bring
Matter of time.
a sick
Pardon?
beta back to health with a salt dip. After I
Yeah,
tried,
yeah,
I spent hundreds on fish medication, but the
yeah.
salt dip did it.
For an external infection, bacteria,
Yeah.
whatever, salt can work. The reason it works is that it kills the bacteria.
Whatever it
It
was,
can also kill the
immune or
parasite.
resistant to the bacteria strain.
Right.
Yeah,
Is columnus the same as wasting disease? No, it's not. Columnaris it's a parasitic infection, like a bacterial infection. It's um it's it doesn't cause the fish to waste. It causes the fish to die. And I don't know what the mechanics of it are as to how it dies. I assume it just breaks down the organs, and it gets in the middle of the fish and just drives its way into the gut of the fish. Brooklyn Bell, I have a silver dollar size, a Pinoy Pariba angelfish that has a white spot on its side. At first it was flat and small. Now it's kind of sunken in and a bit bigger. Uh, do a picture and post it in Discord. It could be a cancer. It could be a parasite. It could be a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Take a picture and post it. We'll see if we can help you with that.
But I actually do use some of the trimines to raise scuds. Actually, scuds are great. They,
Yep.
Yeah, I started with this big of hornwort. Like somebody gave me this much hornwort, and now I have hornwort everywhere. Those
Right.
suckers are bad.
Take much.
Yeah.
Two coolies wasting can come from parasites, absolutely. And for my money, it generally does. Wasting disease is almost exclusively parasites. And the problem is it'll reach the point. The fish will reach the point where it won't eat anymore. And at that point, there's nothing you can do because the problem is internal. So you got to treat it internally, which is why the garlic is so effective, because garlic will get rid of bacteria and parasitic internal problems. But they got to be eating to get it into them.
I'll be honest with you. Since I started doing the deep substrate, I haven't had to deal with any fish. I mean, knock on wood. God.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, again, and the video I did on parasites explains that.
Okay.
It's a matter of creating a balance in the tank, where one species is not able to dominate other species. There are parasites that only attack other parasites. That's their sole prey, is other parasites. So when you've got a real mix, a blend of all kinds of microscopic life in the tank, you're going to have animals in there that are going to be taking care of the parasites. It's just part of the balance.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not saying it would never happen, but I haven't had to battle it like I did. And go, God, I hope I never have to again, but I know that's not realistic because if you keep fish, it's the possibility is still there.
All right, Alex is here. Hey, yeah. Alex, nice to see you. Alex and I had a great time Wednesday night. He showed us all his cool fish and his cool tags. And we had a really wonderful time talking about Noah and being Noah,
That was a
being
being
being citizen scientists. For we are all citizen scientists.
Yeah, but Alex actually has degrees behind it. I was talking to Father Fish about that. I mean, I'm just new. That's all there is to it. And I figure out how to do stuff, and some stuff works and some stuff doesn't. And I don't even know if there's better ways to do things. But you and Alex have actually been trained in that. And the fact that you guys are on the internet or on YouTube able to at least, give that information out there and educate people goes a long way. Goes a really long way.
Yeah, I think the important thing for me, and it's very different from Alex, because Alex is trying to take a much more historical, archaeological, scientific approach,
Yes.
which is his background. I'm trying to take a more naturalist, nativist, beginner approach, if you will. I would prefer to be viewed as a beginner who has learned how to do some beginner things that are really effective.
Very true. But I did like his he uploaded today about the pencil. Just letting you know there.
You bet.
Mm-hmm.
Parasite Rex. Oh, nice, Tukoli. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
An archaeologist without a fish background. Well, that's right. That's right. Yeah, but see what that's given him is a knowledge of how to do research.
Yes.
And what the real value of research is.
There's what is her name? I call her Dr. Fish. Her name's Rebecca.
Rebecca, right?
Yeah,
Freshwater archaeologist.
She's doing research on catfish, I think, in a specific region of the world.
Lacostomus, yeah. Yeah, and what she's doing is she's doing ID work. She's doing classification and identification of species.
Kim is still having a hard time trying to find us on Discord, I think. I'm not on Discord. I mean, I am on Discord, but I'm under his channel. Yeah. I guess Corporal's got it.
Yeah, I'll link to Discord.
Awesome.
As well as that stream of Father Fish and Alex.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Is there any other questions?
Is Kenny here?
I always want to call
Kenny
him.
I think Kenny is on live.
Yeah. Is he on live?
I think so. I think he's coming back on at 10:30.
Oh, cool.
I think.
Yeah, we were talking about parasite. And then talk about plants.
Did anybody find that that video? I'm gonna look for it. I love that video.
The parasite video? I haven't actually watched it mostly because I haven't had to deal with parasites in a while. Again, knock on wood. Oh, for the love of God, don't start anything now. So I haven't seen all of your. I haven't seen your videos on ick or parasites, but I think I'll go and watch them because.
Was it called the Genius of Parasites?
She's on. Kim is still on Plant Talks, so I'll let you take care of it, Corporal. I didn't know that's what CP.
Here it is. It's called the Genius of Parasites.
The Genius of Parasites.
Yeah, I'm gonna post the link. I think I got it here.
Yes, Dr. Fresh. Yeah, coolly.
Right. Who you started doing that, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you called her name's Rebecca. You called her Elizabeth. I know, not intentionally, which is, and then she said that a lot of people call her different names, and so I'm like, well, let's just make it simple. We'll call you Dr. Fresh. It's catchy. I'm hoping it'll.
Is it wrong that I feed my fish worms and bugs like ants.
Um,
No, that's wonderful.
worms,
Absolutely
worms.
wonderful.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I feed mine. Dropsilla, wingless fruit flies when I've got them. I don't have a culture right now. They kind of conked out, but when I've got them, I feed Dropsilla.
Mhm.
You know,
It's a nice,
I feed these guys earthworms and mealworms.
right. Oh, yeah. The bigger fish, mealworms are wonderful. And of course, there's nothing better to feed fish than worms. Well, there is. There's one thing better, and that's other fish.
Oh,
The best food for
Mhm.
fish is fish.
Yep.
I don't think my
ABC just got Luciana Goodeye in.
yeah,
Bravo. Good job.
ABC's
Good
got
job, ABC.
Luigi got what? What is that?
Uh, got Goodeye.
Okay.
It's a Central American live bearer
Oh, very cool. I want to get
guppy.
on one of those Malawi shrimp.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes. I've recently heard about them, not just from the conversation from Wednesday night between you and Alex, but I love a mono shrimp. I've got a mono shrimp for days, but I can't breed them, and I'm just not at a place where I can figure out how to breed them.
Saltwater. You need brackish water.
Right.
Mhm.
You know,
I've had bunches in freshwater, but
Now, do it
they
in
don't last
very
long.
hard water. Very hard water, which is about the same as brackish water.
yeah. Not there. Very cool
Bluefin
project.
chilies.
I've got a bunch of others. So in the meantime, I thought I'd try to breed Malawi shrimp, and that way I can continuously have some fantastic algae eaters at my disposal.
Nice.
Yeah, love algae eaters. 3G says is Oscar eats bologna.
Bad idea. Bad idea. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because it's animal fat in bologna, same as hot dogs. Animal fat, which is not digestible. So once they eat it and process it, they poop out the fat, which creates an oil slick on the surface of the tank, which is dangerous because it prevents oxygen CO2 exchange from occurring. You can suffocate your fish by feeding any kind of animal meat product. And I don't mean chicken or bird, I mean pork or beef or lamb or cat or dog or people, whatever, any mammal meat is not a good fish food because of the fat. If you are feeding, for example, beef heart, it's critical to remove all of the fat, which is a difficult task, from the beef heart before you grind it up and use it as a food. The animal fat will will create an oil slick, and that oil slick will suffocate plants and fish. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Sorry, 3G.
And it's a pain to deal with. I had to deal with it having an aquarium too close to the stove.
Oh yeah. Once you get oil, it's really hard to get it out because it'll get on the plants, it'll suffocate the plants. It'll get on the wood, it'll get on the glass. It sticks like glue to everything.
Is that the same
Nasty stuff.
biofilm that and you know?
Usually not. No. Usually biofilm is algae,
Okay.
which
I
is
have
not at all
bacteria.
a problem. But algae biofilm is not a problem. It's the same as having duckweed. But no, this is something else. This is you can tell if you got it because it'll create like an oil slick, like a sheen on the water.
Yes.
It'll be obvious it's not a plant matter, you know.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, like somebody see in the parking lot of a gas station. You know, the oil.
Yeah, exactly. Right, right. That's the idea. Brooklyn was supposed the angel picture on parasites and diseases. No, post it on emergency, Brooklyn. That way we'll get to it right away. Moon boots, hello, hello. Nice to see you. He said fish eat anything, even dead skin from a sunburn.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds delicious.
Or dirt from between your toes.
Yeah. I mean, did my beta fish ate cucumber?
We saw that, right?
No, I
Yeah.
have proof.
She
One off.
has a perverted beta in there.
Yeah. And then I
They'll
couldn't
eat anything. They'll eat anything. And you know, it's like dogs eating grass. I mean,
Yeah.
he's probably eating it in order to create a certain condition in its gut.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, at least that bed is going to know how to stay regular, huh?
yeah,
Exactly.
stay regular.
Right. Right.
He likes to show off. No, there. Let me try this camera, and hold on. Back camera. Okay. And
Boom butts. If you're fishy rating leftover bones.
here's my vegetarian that doesn't know that he's supposed to be a veg. He's not supposed to be a
Such a
vegetarian.
pretty fish.
Yeah.
Pretty fish.
When you
It
feed them,
seems so.
their color just pops.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was another thing I noticed, that when I fed him, yeah, he likes to show off. Yes. His fins are growing because he was young. His fins are growing longer and heavier, so I may not be able to keep him in the tank for too much longer. But
he'll be fine.
Yeah,
He's
happy.
just fine there. I would not worry about it.
Okay,
Chunky gecko. Hello.
Yeah. He will I mean, he's got plenty of plants up there to hang out with. And
3G wants to, right. 3G wants to know how many Hail Marys for feeding. So just don't do it anymore. You can, who do we lose? We just lost.
EJ's on audio. Hey, Father Fish, look at that question at 9:30.
Where? Who? We just lost EJ.
Oh, no, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, okay, there you are. Oh,
Yeah.
you're flipping it around. Okay.
Yeah, well, my DIY camera holder with duct tape and a 5-gallon bucket. Don't ask anything
Got
else.
it. Carver, what are you talking about, Carver?
There's a question at 9:30 by Blessing Jose or something like that.
Oh, yeah, got it. What happens to fish poop? That one, laying over sand substrate. Do you vacuum it? Does it get buried automatically, or do you bury it? Okay, let's deal with this a minute.
Yeah.
If you're getting a mold buildup on your deep substrate sand bed, that means that your sand bed is loaded with detritus. The solution for that is to add another 1/2 inch of sand. We discussed earlier rinsing the sand so you're not making the water cloudy when you do that. All you really need, what has happened is the elevator process of detritus working its way through the sand into the substrate has become backed up. So you've got excess detritus sitting on the top. If you will add another 1/2 inch of sand, that detritus will have something to go into and it will continue the process. That's generally all you need to do. You just add a little more sand.
I've used this.
Yeah, that works. Same thing. Yeah, it's just opening it up a bit.
Yeah, I just kind of like mix it in with the ongoing sand. But I've read somewhere that I didn't read. You said that Malaysian trumpet sails are really good for, I guess you could say, bringing the stuff from the top.
Worms in a garden, right?
Yeah.
Turning over the substrate.
And you go on the internet, everybody's like Malaysian trumpet snails, bad. But
I
Bunny
mean,
Viper.
I'll enjoy it. I've also got assassin snails.
Yeah.
in
Oh yeah, you
certain
got
tanks.
assassin snails?
I don't like them. Bunny Viper, do you remove the seeds from your vegetables when you feed them? No. The seeds contain a lot of vitamins. They're a nutrient rich source of food. Leave them in there, they'll break down, they'll soften, and the fish or snails or whatever will be able to eat them. So you do not need to remove seeds.
Yeah, my peacock went right for it, actually, the cucumber seed.
Right. Let's see. Nat's Cephalab. My dirted planet tank with gold rams just laid eggs in the last hour.
Very cool.
41-week-old fry are running around too. Thanks for the tutelage. That is so exciting. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Nats. Blessing Joe, thank you.
Fish and catfish go crazy for peas.
Yeah,
Here.
peas are a great food.
I've read that they're good. I haven't done it. I just, I tried eggplant the other day. I sliced it up and boiled it a little bit.
That'll work.
The shrimp just went nuts over it. It was decimated within 6 hours.
That'll work, right? I think all my snails have been assassinated by the dojo and clown loaches. Half of my cleanup crew is gone. Yeah, well, there is that. True enough.
That's why I call them snails.
I'll tell
Kim
you what.
Discord won't let me claim my account. Kim is having trouble getting into Discord. I don't know how to help with that.
Yeah, me neither. I'm doing well, just making sure my audio doesn't go nuts.
Won't let you claim an account.
Oh,
did you try the link I just posted, Kimma?
It sounds like it's not the Discord channel. It sounds like it's Discord apparently doesn't think that she's a real person, or they think that she's not what she says she is. So that you either need to create a new email address or go through the motions of sending, like usually there's like an instruction of how to validate that this account is legit, or you could just go the easy route and just put in create a whole new email address. I think I've got like 5 of them at this point.
There you go.
Yeah. Which is great too, when you want to filter certain spam.
We could stay on all night, guys.
Yeah,
We've been at between 50 and 60 for the last hour and a half, which is pretty good. I'm pretty excited about that. And we're right now at 54, so people are absolutely hanging in there with us. Well, deeply appreciate it.
I'm going to take pictures of my plants and put them on Discord for the trade for people to ask for. Oh, look, Alex says something. Hold on. One thing Father Fish didn't mention here, but he has in the past, is that if your sand is building up fish poop, visible curly Q poop and pellets, yep, we all know what that looks like, then you need more snails or shrimp and microfauna.
Oh, yeah, well, that's right. And that's the ultimate solution to this is humus, is a layer of humus, which is deteriorating leaves, twigs, that sort of stuff that you can get from a pond or a ditch or your resurrection jar, and layer that in the tank. That's going to help break down all of that detritus as well.
But that's
because it will create more microfauna.
Yeah. Poor Brooklyn. We'll see the angel, but yeah. I gotta go take pictures now.
Okay, we're gonna knock it off here, guys. I love you all. Love you all to pieces. This is wonderful. Let's see. Alex is saying you add more sand when it's truly backed up and the sand is peppery and full of poo. Then you can add sand. It doesn't mean just a layer of 2 weeks of fish poo. That's just a young mom layer. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's not going to happen in the first week or month or even in the first 6 months. That'll happen over a long period of time. I had a 200-gallon tank with 6 inches of substrate, and I started getting a mulm buildup after a couple of years. And it was continuous. I added an inch of sand, and it cleared it up. Was no longer a problem for the next number of years. Patty Childs, love you too. God bless you. All right, guys. We're going to call it a night here. Thank
All right.
you all very, very much.
It was nice
Wonderful.
to meet you in your tank, Josh.
I was glad to be up with y'all. We'll have to catch y'all next time.
For
Thank
sure.
you, Josh.
I
Thank
want
you,
to get
AJ.
Samuel. Yeah, I want to get Samuel up with the koi fish if he's up for it. So,
Yeah, we'll do that.
For sure.
We'll be back Sunday
Mhm.
with Mary Page. Next week we'll be doing a NOAA. I don't have anybody lined up yet. I am going to try to get Rick Hahn from the Catoctin Mountain Zoological Park, who's going to walk us through his zoo. That'll be a morning video, or maybe noon, something earlier in the day. We might be able to do that next week. He got sick a couple of weeks ago when we had him lined up, but he's better now. I just talked to him this past week. And once I get moved up there, then we're going to be doing some live stuff from the zoo and helping them set up some big fish aquatic displays. So that'll be fun. Thanks for coming over, Alex. Scott,
Yeah.
everybody, have a wonderful weekend. See you on Sunday. Delighted to have everybody with us. Been a great show this evening. Thank you all.
Happy Memorial Day.
Yes, indeed. Happy Memorial Day. Devices, who is this? Somebody was trying to come up, but they are not connected. So I don't even know who it was. Oh, Dan. Dan's devices are not connected. So we couldn't get them up.
Oh.
Sunday night. See you all Sunday night, guys. God bless you all. Good night for now. Bye for now.